Welcome to the Australian Business Executive Podcast, where we speak with Australia's most influential industry professionals on the business and economic development issues taking place across the country. You can stay up to date with all our content, including our magazines, podcasts and videos by visiting www.theabe.com.au and clicking on subscribe.
Today's guest is Envirosuite CEO Jason Cooper. He recently became CEO, replacing Peter White. He has 20 years experience in the technology sector. Envirosuite is a global leader in environmental intelligence using proprietary technology and real-time localized data to help industries grow and communities thrive. Envirosuite uses science and technology to deliver solutions relating to air and water quality and noise and vibration with clients including airports, cities, construction, mining, heavy industry, waste, and water. Jason, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Jesse. Great to be here.
Can you walk me through what environmental intelligence means and how Envirosuite harnesses this concept into value creation for clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So environmental intelligence first started to make the scene a couple of years ago. What it is it's how you derive insights from your environmental parameters that exist. So as we've seen, there's been a considerable emphasis put in on how businesses and society interacts with the environment. And now we've started to go beyond more of just the simple data collection, but actually how we take that information and turn that into something that companies can act on. So we look at environmental parameters such as noise, vibration, water quality, dust, and air quality. And we take those parameters and then we start to understand how that impacts the society or the asset of which the company is operating that. So take, for example, a mine site. A mine site needs to operate, and many mine sites operate near a community. And by doing that, it understands that there is certain environmental parameters that will affect how that community lives and how people can go there. As you can imagine, excessive dust coming out of a mine site would have a negative impact on the communities. Certain conditions in that environmental intelligence will contribute to how that mine site operates. What we see with environmental intelligence is how do we take weather, how do we take the existing location and the access to that community to be able to provide that mine operator enough information to be able to say when they are doing certain operations and at which part of the mine. So we call this environmental intelligence. And really, it's about giving our customers actionable insights based on those parameters.
So you're using mining as the example at the moment. Are there other sectors that are providing Envirosuite with the biggest opportunity to implement your unique solutions?
Yeah, absolutely. Whilst mining is certainly a strong focus for us, and we have some of the largest organisations in the world as our customers, we also have a very strong footing within the waste and wastewater communities. So these are companies like Veolia and Suez who are both our customers. In this area, we might be solving an odour problem. So something where excessive waste is coming in and it's causing a community to say, listen, this is just not right. I'm not happy about that. And we can work with those customers, to detect the specific type of odour and how that's now affecting the community. We're also number one, it's a little known secret here, but we're number one globally within commercial airports and doing noise monitoring. So when a plane comes into land, I'm sure you've experienced this yourself, a plane comes into land, certain planes you don't really hear, they sort of dwindle into the background, but in others, a plane may come in too fast, too much of a pitch, and so therefore there's excessive noise created. So once again, we're number one within that globally. So, our customers are from Los Angeles to Beijing to Heathrow and certainly here, very strong in Australia. Another part that we are very strong is in water treatment facilities as well. So we have a fairly large spectrum of customers that we are focusing on.
Embracing ESG principles is an emerging trend for business in recent years. Why do you feel that this is important? Do you want to give us a bit of a breakdown on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've seen is companies who now absolutely recognise that for them, for their shareholders and for their investors, that they actually want not only to be seen to be doing good, but actually to be doing good. We talk about in our vision statement about allowing businesses to thrive in parallel with communities. And so I think it's for most companies around the world now, it's about how they find how they can build out a growing and profitable business without having a negative impact on the environment that they live in. You know, there's simple, basic fundamentals for our customers that, you know, the mine site is where it is because of it's mineral rich in that location. Communities have been built up around it. They know and they recognise that there is a long-term engagement. Some of our customers are ports where they actually know that for the viability of that city, they need ships to come in to unload containers and to leave. That's a part of the economic growth. But how does that impact the city that operates in? And so what we've absolutely seen is a recent shift to say, to come to us proactively, to say, we know we have a problem. We want to actually have the ability to grow, and this is what we call social license to operate. We want to engage with our community. And so a big part of our solution here is how our technology enables our business to recognise how it's performing. And sometimes they'll put their hand up and they'll say, this was our fault. How they then communicate that to the community and how the community then feels engaged in actually jointly solving this problem. If all of the noise, and the vibration and the dust stopped emitting in cities, certainly industries would then withdraw, and it's no longer a place that people want to live. So we have seen a really strong shift in that. Recently in North America, we've seen some recent executive orders signed by the new President Biden. And, one of them is around the secure environmental justice and spur economic opportunity, which is largely around how does a business operate in an area without having a negative impact on lower economic societies. And so President Biden has recognised that was going on, has now put legislation in place to stop that. If you look at the water situation globally, we know that it is a very, very scarce resource. By 2025, 2/3 of the world's population will reside in water-stressed areas. There's certain reports out that by 2030, there's around $1.9 trillion need to be spent to address global water infrastructure needs. What we're doing is we're playing a pivotal role in enabling this transition moving forward.
You've recently moved into the role of CEO. Can you give us an overview of your background and your strategy in taking over from your predecessor?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm an engineer at the start and had a privilege of working for one of the world's greatest engineering companies, Siemens. And it gives you strong discipline in what you do and how you build things and taking pride and market leadership. Siemens had a perspective of they wanted to be one or two in any of the markets they operated in. I'm taking that same approach here, which has actually helped us narrow our focus into the markets that we want to pursue. We want to be one or two in any of the markets that we play in. I recently returned from spending 3 years in California, where I was immersed into Silicon Valley, working in high growth companies and understanding what great does look like, and understanding that we operate now in very much a globalized world, that competition comes from every corner of the planet, and you have to have the right strategy, you have to have the right product market fit, you have to have the right team around you to achieve that. And I think it's having that big global picture about what does breed success, invest into those parts. A big part of my focus recently has been to really invest into our product strategy. And that's something that I see already we have strong product market fit, but I want to build out that strategy and invest further into building world-class software platforms based on the fundamentals of science, which the company has been built on, and to execute. A key part of our challenge is to take incredibly complex scientific models and to distill that into a easy to understand information. Again, taking learnings from living abroad, you want to be able to, the simpler the message, and, Google is a great one of that, simplifying that message into something you can translate and take meaningful action. And I think lastly, the sales and marketing focus for me is a big one. We know that we have got a really strong global reach, but I want to build out a truly world-class customer acquisition team and build closer relationships with our customers, so that customer engagement becomes fundamentally important for me and how we build out our company.
You're already alluding to this in terms of the platforms moving forward, but can you elaborate a little bit more on what investors should expect from Envirosuite in terms of your medium to longer term growth?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we look at this from a product offering, we have 3 products. So we have our airport product. We're already number 1 in that market. And what we will see there is continued growth in that. We are starting to see an increase in air traffic, and that will continue. And the world post-COVID will be very different for airports, but a large amount of that will be around that community engagement piece. So we do see a really strong airport growth. We've also got some new product ideation that we're coming through, and we will see some continued investment into technology, driving deeper into operations within airports. Within the industrial platform, as I've said, we're going to be focusing in on mining and wastewater. We have a strong global footprint here. We have some of the world's biggest customers. In that, we are seeing exceptional growth in this area. Our focus now is to broaden our penetration within some of these global accounts to drive greater market adoption. What we're looking to do now is to build a market and not just chase revenue, but build a market and a focused market. The last product offering that we've got is something new. We've only brought this to market in the last 3 months. It's EVS water. In this, we're targeting, water treatment facilities and people who have a high consumption of water. This is around providing a return on investment. This return on investment, we've seen within a short space of time, absolute market validation. So I see this as a huge growth potential for Envirosuite. And so we've got product market fit and we know where we're going to be accelerating. It's now just working out what is the best go-to-market strategy to actually get the shareholder return. So in the short term, I see absolute growth above 20%. And then beyond that, there will be significant upside in the coming years as we start to release this new product roadmap that we've been talking about.
Well, we're winding down for today, Jason. Before we finish, is there anything else that you feel you haven't had a chance to address?
Look, thanks for that. I guess the only other thing, is I'm a big person, a big believer in purpose-driven companies, and I absolutely see Envirosuite being something that I get behind. We have a great opportunity here to recognise this is Australian technology that we are taking to the world and something that we should be proud of. To be number 1 globally, based out of Melbourne and Sydney and Brisbane here is a fantastic example of true research and development, true ideation, and now executing on it. And so certainly the last thing there is, we will be growing significantly over the next couple of years. We want to be on people's radar. So certainly for those people who believe in helping the environment and investing in technology, we'd love for people to come and talk to us about coming on board and joining us on this journey.
Excellent. Well, Jason, thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks, Jesse. It's been great.
This has been a production of the Australian Business Executive, a division of Romulus Rising Proprietary Limited. All rights reserved. You can stay up to date with the Australian Business Executive, including our magazines, podcasts and videos by visiting www.theabe.com.au and clicking on subscribe.